they continue here with their coaches.
Brooke Wells leading things off. She's currently in 5th place overall. 290 pounds on the bar to get things started. Again, they will have 45 seconds per attempt. They'll work down from 5th place down to 1st place. So the major advantage is Tia Claire coming in to see what the athletes have already done.
100%. And this is one of the things that I was excited to see once I saw these two athletes going head-to-head was, or this event coming up was Brooke versus Tia, and Brooke needs this. So that was a nice lift to start off with, just to get that confidence builder and then kind of move from there. But she needs to do well in this particular event to get herself back up that leaderboard.
Carrie Pierce is next. We know Brooke Wells is going to have a good showing based off what she did a couple years ago. Those that need to do well, Carrie Pierce is the Haley Adams, the Catherine Davis daughter. That's one I'm going to keep my eye on. Catch will be coming up next. She had a back injury that held her out darn near the entire season. I mean, the Open was back in October. It's been a year.
Wait, when did we do that?
It's been a year since we did the Open to qualify these athletes for these games here in 2020, but it was the back injury that knocked her out of Dubai, Wodapalooza, as we come in to the game. So she says she has it shored up. She hasn't been able to strength train as much as she had been. And this is one of those events you are almost being a little extra cautious when you put her out there for the total.
Well, before this started, you were talking about this, and it was like she needed to almost count herself out on this event. Well, she didn't have a real good first event, so now all of a sudden she needs to do well here. And that was a great lift to start with. She said that in the first phase with the front squat, she wasn't really sure what she was going to hit. So being able to come in with some level of confidence, being able to compare herself not with Tia Toomey, Brooke Wells, but like, hey, maybe I just need to keep myself above Haley Adams, who's not necessarily known for her strength. I mean, she said that she's improved her strength over the quarantine time, which has been great. But this is one of the elements that we were curious about with her, because even the first phase didn't have a lot of real heavy weight. Decent weight, but not brute strength, as you see in the total.
235 on the bar for Haley Adams. That looked very easy for her.
Nice way to start off. Nice solid lift. Build some of that confidence. And again, she's got some longer legs, so the levers are going to be a little bit different. You saw her knees buckle in there just a little bit, but there was no slowdown. Didn't look like there was any hitch in that lift at all.
Tia Toomey's going to open things up at 315-pound attempt for Tia Claire Toomey. And Tia Toomey wasting no time setting the bar for the rest of the field. 25 pounds ahead of Brooke Wells' second best attempt at 290.
And it's crazy. She is so strong, but watch where her knees go every time. It's so crazy. I mean, they virtually touch and push off themselves to get her up. But whatever it does, it works. And she makes it work every single time. So Tia is definitely setting the bar high. We knew she would in this event. I mean, she won this event, or of these women won the event, had the highest lifts of the event the last time we did this. So she's coming in going for gold.
Back for the second round of back squats. Again, just 3 attempts total for each athlete. Brooke Wells led things off. She had 290 for her first attempt.
Whoa.
Now a successful lift for her second one.
Now, a good lift, very controlled. One thing I was a little concerned with is she went down so slow, and you can really blow out a lot of that power and a lot of that energy if you go down too controlled. You have to let gravity work with you out just a touch if you can.
Up next is Carrie Pierce, 262 on the bar. She had 250 as a successful first attempt. Catherine Davis' daughter at 245 will be up next after this. Pierce sitting in 4th, tied in points with Brooke Wells. This 262 will be good, so that's a good second lift for Pierce. She'll have one more to go.
Nice, easy lift. Nice and solid. She's got in there. You can saw her brace that, take that nice big breath, brace down on that midline, squeeze that belly together, and then hit the lift.
As Pierce is pondering what to do for the last one, David's daughter is still adjusting her weight total for the second one. She had 245. And we just got word she's bumping up to 257. That'll be 5 pounds under what Pierce just did. Brooke Wells just knocked in a 305 for her second lift. So David's daughter is up, 245, successful on her first attempt on the back squat, 257 here. Good. It actually looked a lot better than the first one did.
Yeah, it really did. And maybe that was a little bit of confidence. You know, get in there, get some heavy weight on you, see what it feels like. You know, we talked about earlier about her injury and what she had to deal with through the year. She wants to have a good lift. She almost has to kind of take herself out of this particular event, just in her head. Take herself out of the event. Don't run unnecessary risks, but have a good lift so you can build some confidence.
Haley Adams at 235 in her first one, 250 on the bar for her second attempt.
Wow. Good. Nice and easy. Okay. Okay. That was solid.
So 250 will be good for Haley Adams. Haley Adams currently sitting second overall.
I'll tell you what, she has such confidence for being as young as she is. It's amazing.
Now, Tia Toomey, your overall leader, won the first two events. We had the 2007 Reloaded. We had the Hill Sprint. We moved back here to the competition complex. She had a successful 315 on her first attempt, 325 for her second. Another good lift for Tia Toomey. Again, what we see nice is the bar speed. The bar speed down and up isn't really changing. It's not slowing down. It's a good sign.
Well, it just shows
about the next weight.
Yeah, it just shows how much power she has and so much control over that. I mean, even though on the replay when it's slow, the knees really come in, it looks like she's going to get hung up on that, but it's down and she just comes right back up. I mean, there's some technique things that you could sit there and pick, but if the lift is a good lift, it's a good lift, and that was a solid lift.
Hey, I tell you what, if you tell me to clap my knees together and I'll get a 325-pound back squat, I'll sign up for that right now.
Smack those knees together all day long.
315 on the bar for Brooke Wells. This will be a third and final attempt. Good. That'll be good for Brooke Wells. So that's the second heaviest weight we have in the field. Again, only 5 pounds separated Tia Toomey and Brooke Wells back in 2018 when we previous did the total.
Much better descend. I think that the tempo that she went down was a little bit better. There was a little sticking point, but that's just because it's heavy. So I really like the way she put that lift together.
Pierce had a successful 262, 270 on the bar for her third and final attempt. Good. 270 good for Pierce, and there's really a two-part race to this. There's the Brooke Wells and Tia Toomey, and then there's the Carrie Catron and Haley Adams.
And I tell you what, I mean, Carrie just does her thing. Got under the bar. That was a great lift, you know. And for her, I think that was an important lift ahead. You want to make that one as you kind of, if you're going to not knock it out of the park, creep yourself up to just kind of get to that level, and that was a great lift for her.
265 in the bar for Catron Davis-Daughter. She had 257. It was a 12-pound jump from her first attempt, and now an 8-pound jump for her third. Catron just trying to stay close to Carrie, but ahead of Haley, hoping to get a few points extra in this event.
Good. Nice. Very good job. I thought she was going to get a little hung up there. I mean, she went down. You saw her head come up really high, so that's usually a sign of, like, I'm stuck. So you're trying to work your way through it, but the body just kept on moving, and she didn't seem to panic as it started to feel a little heavier, and she's worked her way through it sled dog style and got that weight up. So nice lift for her, and I think that was an important one for her as well.
I think Catron's actually sneaking some plates on there. It looks like 269 is what she actually ended up hitting. 265 on the bar for Haley Adams. And a good lift for Haley Adams. She had 250 prior to this and a good 15-pound jump for that third one. So 265 for Haley Adams. Still 5 to 7 pounds away from your closest two competitors. That's setting it up well for her.
That's not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Tia Toomey had 325 of her second attempt. Brooke Wells hit 315. And it looks like she's going for 335. You can see your coach Shane Orr on the right side of your screen. As Tia is looking to put a lot more distance between her and Brooke Wells. .335 with ease for Tia Toomey. So Tia Toomey will have a 20-pound lead going into the strict press.
Look at that. Again, these athletes that got to have that quarantine time. I think on the strength side, we can see a lot of these, and we've heard them say that. I was actually got stronger during the quarantine time because the distractions got taken away. We're starting to see those things.
Shane watching on. Good little double fist pump. Almost got the clap, but we might save that. We might save that for the end. We'll get the double fist pump and the clap. So we move from back squat to strict press. Tia Toomey going into this is a 20-pound lead on Brooke Wells, and we saw a lot of this on the men's side where Fraser actually took both the back squat and the strict press, but then lost it in the deadlift because it is cumulative weight. It's not individualized scoring. We're going to total this up as we move from back squat to strict press, as Brooke Wells will get set for her first attempt. Looks like she might have about 130 on the bar.
Whoa, went out in front there a little bit. You saw, I thought she was going to miss that. Now, the thing with Brooke is she's got that overextension of the back. We see that on handstand push-ups. We see that on a lot of events.
We saw that in the first event.
I think that's what the issue was there. So she really needed to really pull back to get that bar back in line, to get that bar up overhead.
Wells actually got a successful 135 for Brooke Wells. Carrie Pierce has 140 on the bar. Now, first strict press is anything like her strict handstand push-ups.
Jeez, seriously.
She might be able to put up a decent number here. She had a successful back squat lift of 272. It's good enough for third overall. As 140 will be good for Carrie Pierce on her first attempt.
Now, the last time we did this is the 2018 games. Carrie had the highest strict press weight out of all the ladies that are out here. So she was able to hit 155 then. So a nice way for her to start. Again, you see her get that little bit of a lean back, but that bar pass stayed right, straight. Really able to use the strength of those shoulders, man.
Catherine Davis-Otter will be up next. Total weight from the back squat, she's sitting in fourth overall. She has a 9-pound edge on Haley Adams, and that's going to be important as we move into the strict press, but more importantly, the deadlift. Catherine coming off that back injury earlier this year. She's have to get as much weight as she can in these first two movements to offset what she might not be able to lift in the third and final one. So that'll be successful for Catherine Davis-Otter.
She needs to make sure she's careful not to take that breath and have any sort of a dip. A lot of the judges get really, really picky if they see any movement at all. So not like she was trying to gain a whole lot of momentum, but even if it appears that there's a little bit of momentum, the judge will call it as a no rep. So she needs to really watch that.
Haley Adams will be up next. Fifth overall in total weight after the back squat, but not far behind. 9 pounds behind Davis-Otter, 12 behind Pierce. Good first lift for Haley Adams. Sitting in second overall after the first two events this morning. 70 points back behind Tia, but second overall nonetheless.
You know, and Chase, we've had this conversation a lot about the younger female athletes, especially that's that pushing power. Usually it's the last piece to develop. So this is where she really needs to be able to try to do as much as she can, kind of play the field a little bit, keep herself in the game as much as possible when she gets to that deadlift.
Tia Toomey's up. This will be her first attempt at strict press. Looks like it might just be about 125 to start.
Which, if that was the case, it was an easy 125. The last time for the 2018 games total that we did it, she hit a 130 on the strict press. That was her top number.
Wow.
So,
well,
I
there
mean,
you go.
yeah, start at 125 and hit it easy, and then just go above that last way.
And those overheads, we talked about this when the men were going, but the strict press is it's a delicate flower of a lift, right? You can have a 20-pound PR day or a 20-pound minus PR day, just based off the way things stack up. Everything needs to be perfect. We saw that on Brooke. It's like you can't afford to push out a couple inches when you get to these heavier weights. For example,
right, that was exactly it.
Not to do the announcer curse on Brooke Wells. That was not intentional.
You're welcome. There
However,
you go.
that was the case.
So exactly what happened there, we saw that Brooke was trying to get back. You see her leaning back with that bar. The lean comes from trying to pull that bar back into position, trying to keep that straight line of path of travel.
150 on the bar for Carrie Pierce. One thing to note for Brooke Wells and part of the rules is that you cannot go back down in weight. So she's going to have to attempt that again, or else she will only get that first lift that she made. 150 on the bar for Carrie Pierce. 150 overhead for Carrie Pierce.
So Carrie's really known for, I mean, right there you can see in her abs, but obviously her shoulder work as well. The fact that she's got that solid core, that just rock solid foundation to be able to push off of, that really helps her when she's driving the bar up overhead.
David's daughter is up. Her first attempt at 120 was good. 130 on the bar for her second one.
Nice lift. That's a 5-pound jump over the 2018 time, or 2018 score that she had. So great job. Great job for her to be back in here just mixing it up like that. And that went up nice and easy. Nice and easy.
So 130 be good for David's daughter. Round number 1. Adams also hit 120 as she's going to put 127 on the bar. It actually matches what Toomey did in the first round. Toomey got 127. And Adams, her sticking point is that couple inches right above the top of the shoulders. When she can get past that chin,
there it is.
A bit stronger than she did on the first one.
Yeah, that looked better than the last lift for sure. Great positioning, gets her face out of the way. That bar, you can see the bar doesn't move. She's able to get herself back just a touch. Keeping that bar path nice and straight. That's really to allow her to get the maximum drive on that bar with those shoulders.
All right. 132 on the bar for Tia Toomey. This would be 2 pounds over what she did in 2018. This would put her in third.
Jeez, oh man.
132 is good.
There could have been a 142 in there, I think. I'm just going to say that was really, really easy.
They're on me, Moss.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Steps right up. Great positioning, nice solid base, straight drive, and then just the confidence. Like that bar didn't stop.
So 132 is good for Tia Toomey as we finish our second round on the strict press. And up next, our third and final reps for the strict press. Brooke Wells had hit 130 previously, went for 137, missed it. She's going to have to try it again because you can't go down in weight.
There we go.
That was and that's the thing, is like she looked like she had no business lifting that weight in the second attempt, but fixed some things on the third one and made it look like she could have done something more around the 140, 145 mark.
Well, and I mean, the last time we saw this in the 2018 game, she hit 140. So, I mean, she should be right in that realm. But we're talking fractions of an inch out of position when you're using, such a small amount of muscle fibers to do it. I mean, it's just shoulders. That's it.
The fickle lift that is the strict press. 157 on the bar for Carrie Pierce. Hoping to extend her lead in this movement alone, and Carrie Pierce will hit 157, and she'll maintain the heaviest weight we've seen on the strict press. Now, she had the third best weight on the back squat, so she's made up some ground here on the second round.
Well, and I like the fact that she came off the rack and immediately started pushing. She didn't hang out to wait and set her feet and do all these other things. Just one step back and boom, right up overhead.
Next closest in weight on this movement is 20 pounds. 20-pound difference in a strict press. Up next, Katrin Davidsdottir. This will be her third and final attempt. She's already hit 130. She's going for 137. That would tie her with Brooke Wells.
Wow, look at that.
And with that lift, more importantly, that puts her 10 pounds ahead of Haley Adams.
And you know what? We talk about the speed of coming off the rack. She hung out there for a while, and I was thinking, well, okay, that was going to be the throwaway lift. But not the case. She hung in there and just had no issues driving that up overhead. It looked way easier than it should have been.
So Davidsdottir will hit 137. Two more lifters to go. Haley Adams, he has 127 in the bag so far. She's got to try to close the gap between her and Davidsdottir to try to get out of that fifth place position.
Oh, there was a lot of fight going on there. So you have the full 45 seconds. If you need to re-rack or whatever. Are they going to let her do it? No.
So she's going to get 127. And that'll put her 10 pounds behind Davidsdottir. Davidsdottir still in fourth.
Oh, that was a close attempt. Close attempt. Good fight for it.
Tia Toomey has put 140 on the bar. You have two 137s between Wells and Davidsdottir. This will put her 3 pounds ahead and into second place for this lift. And Tia Toomey, 140 pounds, 10 pounds more than she did 2 years ago at the 2018 CrossFit Games. Those worked out pretty well for her in the end.
Just so dang strong.
And so we're going to combine the back squat weight with the strict press weight as we move into the third and final lift. That's the deadlift. Coming up, 3 attempts just like we've had before. Carrie Pierce will have the best lift at 157, 17 pounds, closing the gap on Tia Claire's Toomey, 140. And that tie for 137 between Wells, Davidsdottir, and Adams. As we move into the back squat, now here's where a lot of things can change. We saw it on the men's side especially. Brooke Wells, 395 to start. Brooke Wells is the best deadlifter in the field.
Yeah.
But Tia Toomey is not far behind.
Well, no, when these guys battled in the total the last time, they had the same deadlift. But the last time when we did the deadlift ladder, Brooke was the one that just crushed the field with it. So this is where she needs to be able to make up a lot of those pounds. So she has to attack it. She has to be aggressive. This is where she's strong, so she's got to get after it.
Brooke Wells is 23 pounds behind Tia Toomey for the overall total. Toomey still leads at 475. 395 with ease for Brooke Wells. So Brooke Wells is going to have to at least do 23 to 25 more pounds on this lift alone to overtake Tia Toomey.
Nice way to start. Looked very strong. You saw that nice brace midline. Bar didn't waver anywhere, straight up her shins.
Carrie Pierce will be up next. She's third overall in total weight, 429. That 150-pound strict press got her a little bit closer to Tia Toomey. But again, she's got a long way to go. A little bit closer, I mean 46 pounds closer. And she'll have a successful 315.
Again, a nice lift to start. I think her butt was up just a touch. Could have come down just a little bit to use those legs a little bit more, but it was a nice, easy lift to start with.
Now, this is the movement we've been curious to see with Katrin Davidsdottir coming in. Again, she's been hindered with a back injury, a disc issue, this entire season since the Open. .275 on the bar. She has a 19-pound edge on Adams, and that is a near negligible amount of distance between the two when it comes to a deadlift, and a movement that has been, I mean, this is not the movement you want to be doing when you have had back issues in the past.
Totally. And again, we keep talking about the injury, but even before there was the injury in the 2018 games, she had the struggles. She only was able to hit 295 then, so she's going to have to try to keep those weights up as best as you can, especially to keep ahead of Haley Adams.
I mean, a few races, as you said, basically three different races. Pierce is kind of stuck in the middle between Tia Toomey and Brooke Wells.
Yep.
This race off the bottom between Haley Adams and Katrin Davidsdottir. We said it was a 19-pound difference, and with 285 or 280 for Haley Adams, that's going to close the gap 5 more pounds.
Now, I will say that Katrin looked solid when she did her, so I think that was more of just a first lift, but she also can kind of see, all right, so how did Haley move on that?
Haley looked pretty good,
great.
too.
She looked great, absolutely. But they're going to try to kind of create themselves up as they move, so.
Tia Toomey, 385 on the bar, over 100 pounds from Haley Adams, 285. So 285 for Haley. This is still 10 under what Brooke Wells did. That's a good lift for Tia Toomey, so 385's on the board. So Wells have closed the gap by 10 pounds on the first lift.
Nice, easy first lift. You can see that nice, calm setup. Checks her hamstrings, pulls on up, nice and solid.
Your weight totals coming into the second wave. Unofficially, Tia Toomey, 860, 13 pounds behind now is Brooke Wells as she gets set for her second attempt. Carrie Pierce is in limbo, about 40 pounds above and below her. Davidsdottir sitting at 681, Adams at 672, so a 9-pound difference between Adams and Davidsdottir, 13-pound difference between Wells and Toomey. Second lift is good for Wells, and she had to work for that one.
There was a little hitch up at the top. You see some of these athletes that, they're able to pull it. I would think the hard part would be pulling it off the ground myself, but once she gets it up past her knees, that's when you saw her just get stuck right there trying to get that hip locked forward, get those legs locked out. Strong lift, though, strong lift, and she needs to keep attacking to keep herself marching up that leaderboard in this event.
That was 405 for Brooke Wells, so again, 10 pounds more than she did previously at 395, 10 pounds closer to Tia Toomey if she were to match this. 330 on the bar for Carrie Pierce. Pierce sitting solidly in third in this event. She's not going to get caught by Davidsdottir. She's not going to catch Tia or Wells.
So, like, for her, there really is a strategy for her. It's lift heavy, but you're not going to beat the girls up at the top right now. So just lift enough to kind of keep that position. Stay there for the rest of the event.
Davidsdottir will be up next. She had 275. She's going for 295. That would be 10 pounds over what Adams did in the first round. So a 20-pound jump for Katrin Davidsdottir.
All right. Looks solid. Very nice lift. So the 295 is what she hit in the 2018 game. So she tied what she hit for. And we got to remember, we don't have any crowds pumping people up and being able to ride that emotion. I mean, it's kind of like you're working out in your gym by yourself. So the fact that she's able to pull that, as long as the same thing with these other women, the fact that she's able to pull that right now is impressive.
Adams hit 285 in her first attempt. Looks like she has 310 on the bar. So if she can hit this, That might put her back up in that 4th place position. There's just a 9-pound difference between her and David's daughter. And 310 goes up for Haley Adams. So it's going to be an interesting 3rd round between David's daughter and Adams. Good speed off the floor. Nice lockout through the top. That's a confidence lift right there.
Yeah, you know what? That really puts the pressure on Catherine. We knew that there was that battle between these two women coming in. We knew that that was going to be the issue, and she just answered the call with that lift. Right
now, Toomey has a 3-pound lead over Wells. She has yet to take her 2nd attempt, as she is also going for 405. So Wells got it in round 2. Toomey's looking to match it.
Good.
405 is good for Toomey.
Not a hitch at all. So we saw that little bit of a sticking point right above the knees with Brooke Wells on that last one. Nothing at all with Tia. That wasn't even a problem. Very confident setup. You know she's dealing with some weight now. There's a little bit more of a preparation to get ready for it. Check the hamstrings and a nice lift. Just worked right through that pull off the floor. Stood up nice and easy. Well, nice and easy. I say that relatively, of course.
And we move into the 3rd and final round. And here's what's on the line. Tia Toomey, matching Wells' 405, has put herself back 23 pounds ahead of Brooke Wells. David's daughter only has a 4-pound lead on Haley Adams. Pierce, again, solidly in 3rd place. But this is a big lift for Brooke Wells.
Oh, she's still moving. Look at that. Inching it up.
Wow. And we're looking to see if that actually counted.
All right, so very tight. You see her get, everything's engaged. She gets right up past the knees. She's hanging out there trying to get those hips. You see her inching up. There's the lockout, shoulders behind the bar, and then get this thing off of me.
432 pounds for Brooke Wells.
Thanks.
335 for Carrie Pierce, so not a big jump. But that 32, that's 27. So Brooke Wells just put on 27 more pounds. Now, if Tia were to get at least 415, she could win the event overall. But as of right now, as it stands, Wells is sitting in 1st place overall by 4 pounds. Now, Katrin Davis' daughter, 307 on the bar. She has a 4-pound lead over Brooke Wells, over Haley Adams. She had hit 295 in set 2. 12-pound jump at 307. And now the door is open for Haley Adams. Again, Davis' daughter had 701 total. Haley Adams behind her at 697. Again, these pounds are all unofficial until they are officially documented. But as it stands right now, if Haley Adams can hit a 315-pound deadlift, she will pass David's daughter for that 4th place position.
You know, but I think that the lift that Katrin, she had to go for that. And I don't think it was outside of her realm necessarily. We're in competition, so she was going for it, so she had to, but the bar just got out of position just a touch.
Adams is putting 327 on the bar, and again, we just told you what the math was, and I'm hoping that this isn't too much. Oh, nice
Obviously,
lift for Haley.
Tasia didn't think that was going to be too much, or you can hear in the background, you got that, okay,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
big deal, just another day, right on.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's like, do what you need, not over what you're supposed to. But Haley Adams will hit 327. That should put her into 4th overall ahead of David's daughter. So that was a big lift for Haley Adams. Now, Tia Claire Toomey. She's behind by 4 pounds, but if she can get anything over what she just did, that should solidify her 3rd event win in a row at 415. It will do it. As unofficially, Tia Claire Toomey